Hey y'all, how's it going? Eric with East Texas Homestead here. We've got a couple of guests, Rodney and Desmond. They're going to be on here in just like 10 seconds, but I wanted to welcome everyone. Hey, if you're here, looks like we've got 7 people and 3 thumbs up. So smash that like button and share this show with your friends, and we're going to jump right into it. All right, let's jump over and pull up our guests. This is also the first time that we're doing a live stream here on East Texas Homestead. So this is new to me. If I fumble around with the buttons, sorry. Rodney did it last time. If you don't know Rodney Hunt, you've got to check out his channel. He is coming up. He's the heir apparent for the master of DIY solar here on YouTube. Then we've got Desmond from Fertile Foods. This dude is rocking it down in Texas, down south central Texas, I guess maybe. And he is doing some cool stuff off grid and planting a bunch of trees and stuff. So, Rodney, introduce yourself for those who don't know you beyond what I just gave you.
All right, my name is Rodney Hunt. I have a channel about DIY solar and self-reliance. I'm here in North Carolina, and I'm just trying to show people, that you can do off-grid or even on-grid DIY solar on your own, save a lot of money, and be prepared, for anything that might happen, and hurricanes, whatever the case may be.
Yeah, Desmond, give a little intro for yourself as well.
I'm Desmond. I'm the founder of Fertile Foods. I'm 29 years old. We're out in Dripping Springs, and we're all off grid. We have solar and rainwater. As he mentioned, we're doing a food forest. Got 1,000 trees granted, and we're really excited to get involved and plant it all. And made lots of mistakes with solar along the way, so
Heck yeah.
get ready.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Haven't we all?
Yeah. So Desmond, what got you into off-grid solar? Just real quick.
Oh, I've been interested in solar since I was a teenager. Probably ever since I could afford a solar panel, I bought one. My dad always liked solar and off-grid um, sceneries. My family had a lot of farming and homesteading, and I got a lot of influence from him.
Man, that's great.
Is my camera and everything coming in? Sorry,
Yep.
looking
Yep.
laggy on my end. Oh, great.
Looks good to me.
Yeah, so I've just been doing it since I could afford to do it and get involved. Just doing experimenting and looking for alternative energy solutions, and just wanting to just play with it. It's bigger Legos.
Right. What was the first system you built?
Um, Man, I'm not sure. I started testing out if I could charge up some batteries. I think I was just powering lights and a fan. Nothing special. Just trying to see if I could do it.
Right. That's cool. Did you use like any specific inverter or like an all-in-one unit, or did you build it all out in pieces, or what'd you do?
Oh, um, I got a cheap inverter off eBay and an old battery I found around the house. I had actually used a desulfator to get it running again, and just the bare minimum.
Nice.
Just had to get some life into it and test it all out. Of course, it didn't run the stuff for very long, but
Right.
I learned
Proof of
further on I
concept.
needed to cycle it and to get more health into them.
Yeah. Rodney, what was your first system?
My first system was a Harbor Freight panel with a little light bulb. And I actually thought I did something cool, have that little panel running and put your little light up.
You did do
And
something
that
cool.
was that was a long time ago I did that.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
have a
They're right
lot more
there with
stuff
you.
now.
Yeah. I want to see in the chat what y'all's first systems were as well. Just a panel and a light bulb, or something more advanced. So, but yeah, today we are going to be talking about the pitfalls of DIY solar, the dark side of DIY solar. No, it's all good. It's not that bad, but there are definitely mistakes that we've all likely made, and there's a lot more that we will likely make beyond those. But I figured it was just a good topic. You know, Rodney and I, we were just discussing, was like 3 hours ago, like, what are we going to talk about tonight? And so then we came up with just the concept of doing just like, hey, what are the mistakes we've made? Because those are probably more valuable to some people than, you know, showing them again how to connect some batteries and whatnot. So what do you guys think about that?
Yeah, I've done a lot wrong. So, I mean, I have a whole list. I started putting them on my phone whenever you talked to me earlier. So, I'm just going to go ahead and start with something that's on my list. And number one is you need to ground stuff. So, I put my panels up. I'm just bad for not finishing stuff. I'll start something and then I'm like, I'll put that ground on there later. And I tell you this, those solar panels, you go touch them, that somehow they'll get that AC coming back on them, and you will get shocked on the frame if you don't have it grounded. So remember to keep your grounds if you have them, your AC and your DC grounds separated. And a lot of people might put it on the same grounding rod. I did that at the beginning. So there's just a lot of things I've done wrong, and I mean, I could definitely go on all night, but that would be one of them that I just thought of and put on my phone.
Yeah, that's awesome. Definitely something you've got to get things grounded. I see prep today comment. We'll come up with that in a second. But Desmond, how about you, man? Well, what's something?
I've ran into the issue of over tightening my stuff, my nuts and bolts. Sometimes under tightening,
Yeah.
but I've actually found out to have a few more over tightenings than under tightening. So,
Interesting. Okay, so is
yeah.
that with using a torque wrench, or are you torquing them to spec, or I'm gonna feel it out?
No, I was just doing it, and I
Yeah.
thought I was doing it right, and I guess I was putting in too much. Sometimes I would strip things, and it would, or do it too tight, and it would actually make it loose again, or
Mm, mm,
cause too much heat or something.
yeah.
But typically, it was shorting out. So that's when I learned to use the proper torque specs and get a torque wrench and avoid that one. Luckily,
Yeah.
no serious damages, just fried an inverter
Yeah.
or solar controller.
Yeah. Okay. So so aside from using the torque wrench, do you guys use thermal cameras to check your check for heat anywhere? Y'all done that?
I've
I
I
I've
have
said,
done
done
did I
that.
say
that
solar?
before.
I said solar. I meant did I say thermal? Thermal camera is what I
You
meant.
said thermal.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I've used that a
I've
good
done
bit.
that once. I think my dad has a attachment for the cell phone
Hmm.
he could use and check out the apps,
Yeah.
the phone app, and look what's going on. And I need to do it again. I've done it once when I initially installed it, but I know you're supposed to check up on it a few months later. But
I was
I have
trying to.
no
Yeah, I've used a
issues, and I
thermal
don't
camera
draw
as
too much.
well,
Yeah.
and
I've
I've
got
used like a heat gun, trying to just doing different spots.
right. Yeah, I bought this Klein one years ago, and then I've actually got one of those dongles to plug onto the iPhone that I was sent for a review, which actually is a lot less than this thing, and uh, it costs less and is way better. So I'll be doing a video on that probably in the next week or so. So yeah, those are good. So yeah, let's pull up a comment here real quick. Oh, that's way too tiny. Got to make this bigger. All right. Prep today. I took y'all's advice last week and went ahead and got my system running as best I could. I have 16 panels with some microinverters. 8 are on a trailer, and the other 8 are on the porch. About 4.5 kilowatt hours. Yeah, man. Good job. Way to
That's
go.
awesome.
Here we go.
That's
Hey,
great.
you got to start somewhere.
Applause.
That
Woo!
that that was a bigger start than I had for sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, way bigger. That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
A thermal camera on the way. Nice. Yeah, oh, on the wish list. Sorry, on the wish list. I read it a little off. Yeah, they see if I can get this set up here. Now, how do I get rid of them whenever I'm done with it? I don't know.
I think you just click it again in the same spot.
Okay. Oh yeah, there it goes. Oh, and it's back. Ta-da! Nice. Oh, that's cool. All right, we got 9 people on the stream. That's nice. 9 likes, 9 people. That's a good ratio. I like that. All right, so let's see. What other, Rodney? What's something else on your list there?
Um, Basically, make checklists for your materials that you're gonna need, because more than one time I've ordered stuff, you pay for shipping, you get everything there, and you're like, there's one thing I'm missing before I start this project, and then you got to pay to get something else shipped. So I would think through it in your head and just visualize you putting everything together and make a checklist, and then see if you got everything before you ever start your project, or even before you order it, and then just try to order it all at the same time, because there's no reason to waste money and have stuff shipped more than one time.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I can't tell you how many times I've been in the middle of the project and I'm like, man, I just need like one more, little connector to get the Romex into the box or whatever it is, right? Just something. And so now I try to just have way more on hand than I actually need, and then I still end up not having enough. But yeah, it's always it's the little things that really kind of sneak up behind you and get you.
Yeah, like ferrules and stuff like that people don't think about.
Yeah. It's like, oh, I'll get by without it, and then you get a ferrule kit and you realize how many of those things you're going to use, and you put it on everything, and it makes things a lot easier. Yeah,
it does.
Extremely useful.
Yeah, so to go ahead and get like a huge kit with all the sizes, links in the description below. No, not yet, but probably afterwards. Yeah, just it's so, yeah, it's crucial. You need to have all that stuff. Yeah, man,
That's a very good point. That also helped me out a lot. I started ferrule crimping my wires and torquing it properly, and those things really made the difference. And then I had that peace of mind as well.
Yeah,
that's always nice.
For sure. It's always nice to sleep a little bit easier knowing that you did it the right way. It didn't just throw your panels on the grass, which we may or may not talk about here in a little bit. Hey, Austin Maddox. All right, any advice for someone installing racking for the first time on a sloped roof with shingles? I'm leaning towards Iron Ridge 14-foot XR 100 rails. I have no comment on this. I don't know. Anybody else done any of these?
I have not. I haven't did any on the roof really, besides stuff I've built, and I haven't used those at all. So I'm not sure about the roof stuff.
Yeah.
No, I'm not familiar with that either. The only thing I've mounted one on is a golf cart. So
yeah, there you go. I definitely prefer to not put it on the roof if possible, but I also understand that there are a lot of people that's your only option. So Austin, that may be your only go to place. Like, I don't like having it up on the roof personally.
I have put a few on the roof. I'm wrong, but not with that kind of racking system. That's what I'm getting at. So I haven't used the Iron Ridge. I've just used the little mini rails, that's like 13 inches, and you screw them down and then put the bracket on the panel up there.
I just say, if you're going to do it on the roof, for sure, do it the right way. So whatever the right way is, make sure it's done to the top specs. Don't cut any corners on that. You don't need your house burning down.
Make sure you
have your rapid shutdown.
Rapid shutdown, yeah, for sure. Yeah, what was that, Desmond?
Oh, make sure your insurance approves of it too if you're worried about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no doubt. Prep today, another comment here. I have a couple Schneider XW Plus Pros that are used. Okay. Got one updated. Went to purchase the other, and the network card went. Oh, man. Bummer. Hate to hear that. Let's see.
Yeah, I don't like when equipment doesn't work like it should, especially when you pay all that money for it.
Yeah, no doubt. Smith HVAC, what's up, man? Good to see you.
Hey, what's going on?
Yeah, Rodney in the top 10. Good
Oh
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, congrats, Rodney.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you.
Yeah.
I don't know how that happens with my small channel, but
Yeah, you're killing it, man. You're doing a good job. So incorrect system sizing. Have you guys run into that? Too small, too big? No one does it too.
yeah,
Think,
not
which
enough,
one?
not enough batteries for sure. I don't think anybody
Oh,
ever gets enough
always.
batteries to start with. I mean, who gets enough batteries? Raise your hand. I don't know anybody. I don't have enough. I have 85 kilowatts on my house, and it's not enough.
Right.
Never
So
enough.
I've got enough dead double A's running around that my kids keep going through. Man, oof, all
Yeah.
those toys.
Always need more batteries.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Austin Maddox, any advice on turning on the 18K PV for the first time? So commissioning.
I'd follow the manual. That's my advice.
Yep.
So I mean, it'll walk you through it. It's
Yep.
not hard. You just have to follow the manual.
I think Kelly's got a good one on the Signature Solar YouTube channel. They typically do a pretty good job of the commissioning stuff. But yeah, follow the manual. Download the latest manual and then follow that one. That'd be my advice. Yeah. Yeah, it's cool. 13 on here. Hey, how about that? It's pretty good for 8:15 on a Thursday, Friday. What is it? What day is it?
Thursday.
Somebody Thursday. I was making Monday,
Uh,
Friday this week. It's so bad. I've been all off on my time. All right. So, but undersizing. So how big of a deal is that?
That's a that's a big deal. That happens because the batteries, like you said, you don't have enough batteries. You wake up, you go to do something, or you go into bed, and all your juice is gone. It's a big deal. And then also the panel sizing. I thought I had plenty of solar panels. I thought I had extra solar panels, and then winter came. Not only did I have less sun hours, but it was completely cloudy. So I had
Mm-hmm.
no sun with no sun. Um, yeah, I was completely undersized when I thought I was oversized. So.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, there's
Yeah.
days when I can pull in over 100 kilowatts, and when it's sunny, but then when it's cloudy, you don't know what you're going to pull in. So I would always say panels are usually the cheapest thing you're going to get in the whole system. I just buy more. So I'm gonna be putting up a lot more panels here in the next month or two, and I just want to over panel the system as far as I can go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So-
That's kind of been my approach.
So the question is underpaneling or undersizing your system such a big deal that someone must wait until they can do everything they need before getting started? Like, is it a type 1 error, or is it it's just make sure you can at least run your critical loads?
I think you just hop on in there and get involved as soon as you can, and do what you can, because there's always room to add more. Just make sure you get the right components where you can add more batteries or match the panels.
Yeah.
Don't hold back.
Go ahead,
It's pretty
Rodney.
funny. That was number 3 on my list. It was think about future expansion.
Yeah.
You're always going to end up wanting more. So you just start where you can. But if you have the funds, I would say try to get everything you need to begin with. But usually that's not going to happen for most of us. We don't have unlimited funds. So just go get what you can and get started. It's better to have something than nothing. So if you're having an emergency or something like that, and you're able to power your refrigerator and some lights, you and your family are going to be a lot better off than if you had nothing. So that's the way
and
look at it.
I would say for me, it can either be a type 1 error, like it can be something that you can't come back, or not that you can't come back from, but it's like this was a massive mistake and it's kind of ruining things, or it can be, well, we'll build as we go. And the difference is on grid and or off grid and grid connected, right? So for guys like Rodney and I, and Desmond, I'm not sure, do you have grid power to your property?
Oh no, not out here.
Okay, yeah, I didn't think so. So with Rodney and I, when we have grid coming in, one of these, what where is it? I can't do this backwards thing. That one's got grid coming into it, and that one's got, everything coming out. Anyway, when my batteries are depleted and the sun's not shining, these 6,000 XPs over here. Actually, let me jump over here to this view. Yeah, that's a little bit better. Anyway, the 6,000 XPs, they end up just switching over seamlessly to grid, and no one ever knows the difference except I get the notification on my phone. And then it's like, well, I see muted. Did I mute somebody's audio? I just got a notification about that. Oh well. No, I guess I'll see you guys.
We'll find out in a minute.
There you go. I hear you. So you can undersize as long as you've got a backup. But if I was to move out and drastically undersize my build, and then expect to be able to keep my freezers full of food going and like all that stuff, like then you're gonna end up spending a ton on fuel for your generator and all that stuff. So yeah, that's how I would kind of answer that question. Anything to add to that?
Sounds good.
Yeah. All right, we got another prep today. I ordered 2 Amazon specials on Prime Day. The quality is definitely a bit on the lower side. Working on a review right now. Nice. The manufacturer has already sent one replacement, however. Just be sure to disclose that in your review for sure. Yeah. These are batteries. Yep. Got it. All right. So what about incorrectly sizing not your entire system, but individual pieces? Any of y'all run into that? Like, oh man, my breaker box is too small. I needed more slots.
Yeah, I think I should have ran a slightly bigger wire from my building to my house.
Yeah.
And I wish I would have went with just oversized. I mean, it's big enough, but then when I start thinking about it, I'm like, I wish I would have made it just a little bit bigger. You get worried because we use a lot of power at my house. Sometimes we're pulling almost 16,000 watts from the system. And even though it technically is rated for it, I would feel better if I would have spent a little more money, got the bigger wire. But that wire is so expensive, sometimes it's $8 a foot. You're trying to spend the least amount you can, but I shouldn't have. I should have just went with the good stuff.
Or had fewer kids. I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
I love big family. That's awesome.
Too.
I love that so much. That's cool, man.
Got another one on the way.
Dude, congrats.
I had an improper sizing with my panels. With the cable was way too long, and so I was experiencing a voltage drop. And so I got the proper length cables, and I noticed increase in power, overall voltage. Yeah,
that voltage drop will sneak up on you.
So Eric, your PV arrays, how far away are they from your house? Do you have some that's pretty far, like further than 200 feet, or?
Not at the moment. I do plan to put some up there that are about 200 feet from the barn. Yeah, 250.
Okay.
Yeah. So
all I've used is 10 gauge or whatever for my PV, but I haven't used any bigger because I haven't went that far away.
Right. I think the 10 should do it. All right, Austin's got another question here. Have you guys run any issues with loads that pull a lot of amperage upon startup, like AC compressors or water well pumps? Need soft starters. I mean, I definitely can answer that in a second, but I'll see what you guys think.
I have not, but I mean, my 2 air conditioners, they're basically like a split system. So I don't know if you have an all-in-one package unit that's outside. Some people, I've seen a lot of them have to put the soft starts on, but I haven't had a problem with mine. So I don't even know what the amps are. I just know they run, so I never even check the stuff. But of course, I do have, at this point, I have 3 of the 6,000 XPs, and I've had like 3 Grow Watts, the 5,000 watt ones. So usually I've had plenty of power to run them. So.
Yep. Yeah, it's all about sizing your system right. I've got. Our entire home is run off electricity. We don't have any gas or anything like that. So it's the water heater, it's the electric stove, it's all of the window units, and then now the mini split, which most of that's got its own array, which is great. But the biggest issue for us, which is why we got into doing the whole solar in the first place, as mentioned on our last stream, if anybody was on that one, is we've got a a 5-horse deep well pump. It's 800-foot well. I guess the pump is really down about 500 feet, and that's 1,000 feet from the house. And so while it's a 5-horse pump, with all that pressure, it ends up using way more amperage than one would think. And when that thing clicks on, you can hear it. It pulls 55 amps, a 240 on startup. So it's really pulling everything you can pull out of a single one of these XPs. So, but the good news is 1 XP does it, and 3, they don't even blink.
Yeah, the 6,000 XP for what you get for basically the budget unit, I would call it. These things have been amazing for me. I mean, I've had them since November or December, whenever they came out, and they've been awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's great to hear. I'm looking forward to installing one. I just pulled out the manual and everything, so I'm start reading it and
nice.
Get it going.
That's awesome.
Yeah, get after it. It'll be good. Prep today, another one.
Oh, I will have the whole family. Speaking of that, because I did an 18K at
my. With the house wiring being too short for setting up the critical loads panel. So
you're trying to run the same wires, or you're trying to run it from your main panel already? Because I'm just wondering, you can buy the little, I can't remember what they're called, the little connectors, and you can make the wire longer, basically. Signature Solar sells them, so I can't remember what they're called.
Yeah. I've got them here on my wires. Do I have any?
I can look it up too.
Let's see here. I don't know to what extent it meets code. I'd hate to tell you to do something that doesn't actually work well.
The little insulated unitaps or multi-taps.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm talking about. So, yeah. I'm pretty sure they meet code because I went and got mine from an electrical outlet store. And, I'm guessing, just check your codes, but I'm guessing they do.
Yeah. Let me see. I'll pull some up here real quick. Yeah. This is... Now how do I get back to this eCam thing? There it is.
He's having my same problems from the last time.
Oh,
gotta learn all this newfangled stuff.
No, which one is it? How do I share my screen? Share 2, 3 with share.
All right, I don't know if we're coming back. I don't know if it's my stuff.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, I think I lost both of you guys.
Okay.
Yeah, when I shared my screen, I think it just crashed everything. Couldn't handle it.
I don't know if it's just me that froze or...
Let's see.
Sorry about that.
No worries. Okay, so we already got that one. He said he's trying to move it from the main panel and move it over. All right. Code. Yeah. Well, we definitely don't want to encourage or put anything out here that says otherwise. But Austin, back over here. Best place to get PV wire. Signature Solar wire is expensive. Wire is expensive. Is the 18 AWG THHN from Home Depot okay? Where did Rodney go?
I guess he disconnected.
I lost Rodney altogether. All right. Well, we'll leave him right there. Leave a space for him. Oh, there he goes. Rodney's coming back. Sorry about that, everybody. We're all coming in via satellite, so it's Rodney's back. Maybe.
Yeah, I see him. There he is.
Yeah. All right, Rodney. Can you hear us? We back? We good? I don't know.
I don't. I don't hear him.
Yeah.
I see him talking though.
Can't hear you. All right. So, as far as the THHN from Home Depot, I don't think so. Solar PV wire has, um, I mean, its insulation is ridiculously thick. I mean, it's crazy thick. So, you're specifically gonna need PV wire that is rated, also for that's UV rated, so it can sit out in the
Mhm.
sun, so it doesn't end up falling apart, cracking, and then shorting out and burning your house down, and then everybody dies. You know. All right, Rodney, we back? Nope,
No.
still having issues.
Hmm.
Um, oh, wait, is this on my end? It says guest has muted themselves. So you muted the guest. I muted the guest. All right. How do we how do we get Rodney back? Sorry guys. Trying to figure out how to get him back. I don't know. There are so many options here. It says I muted the guest, but I didn't. Guest has muted themselves. I don't know.
Is your mic muted on your end, Rodney? Is there a button next to the share screen?
Let me I'm looking through all my options here. I'm not seeing I see a button here that says, you know, Rodney has muted himself. And then it shows like an X over his audio. So I don't know. Maybe Rodney, you can work for a second, try to figure that out. So best place to get PV wire. No, still can't hear you. Dang, that's frustrating, man. Sorry guys. I know this is not what we're supposed to be doing on a live call. Still can't hear you. Assign. Then he's gone. Maybe he's gonna try to come back again. Okay. Desmond, do you have a place that you buy wire from?
In the past, it just depends. For my batteries, I've done things like eBay, Walmart, but when it comes
Mm-hmm.
to PV, um, I really you just want to make sure you're getting solid copper and, like you said, UV resistant, something that's been tested really thick. And it's, um, I don't know where. It's hard to say to answer that question. I don't really remember where I get mine from since it's been a while.
Yeah.
Probably Amazon and other sources.
Yeah.
It
Um,
just depends. That market kind of shifts a lot, so I
yeah.
try
Yeah.
to maintain quality, but finding a good price.
Right. I can say I've bought from Signature Solar, but I've also purchased from photovoltaic.wire.com. Is that it? Photovoltaiccable.com. Um, so that's see if we can. Oh, looks like Rodney is back in. I do see audio, but I don't see his video. I'm going to assign. Okay, it looks like your audio is back, Rodney. Can you hear us? Can we hear you?
I can hear you.
And I
I
can
don't know
hear
what
you.
happened.
We can hear you.
That was bizarre, man.
Welcome back.
I couldn't hear anything. I don't know what
Oh,
happened.
weird. That's weird. I'm glad you're back. Glad you're back. All right. So we're talking about PV cable, where to buy. I have purchased from Signature Solar. I've also purchased from photovoltaicable.com. How about you, Rodney?
I think I purchased some from Amazon, some from Current Connected, and a lot from Signature Solar. I've got like the 500-foot rolls from them because I'm doing so many projects that I just have to have a lot. So I got quite a bit of it on hand right now.
Oh, I don't think we can hear you, Eric.
Somehow I got muted. Dang, that's great.
Eric?
That's weird, man. This thing like
now I can hear you.
randomly mutes me. That's so weird.
I might be next.
Yeah, that's bizarre.
Oh,
Like I
no.
promise I didn't click the mute button. So yeah, this place is where I'm not an affiliate with them. You know, they didn't ask me to put this up or anything. That's just where I purchased my cable. Then Signature Solar is another place that I purchased cables. So that's where I'm at. But yeah, definitely don't just buy regular old THHN. Okay, so I'm looking for the next comment. Yes, exactly. Oh, hey, this is. I guess we're on a different deal. I brought this one in. Yeah. Thank God tech issues are not critical to survival in real life. That's right. Yes.
We would be in
Fox.
trouble for sure.
Fox. Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah. Not sure what happened. Rodney's there. Okay. Here we go. Another question, maybe. You know who? Oh, no, just kidding. It's just about. Oh yeah. There we go. All right. If anybody else has any questions, let us know. We will rock on here for a bit longer.
Hey, TJ, in the comments.
Let's see. Oh, hey, that came in a little bit longer. Or took a while for it to show up here for me. TJ, what's up, man? Yep. And fellas. Nice. So, all right, let's move on to some more questions. Rodney, did you have anything else on your list you wanted to discuss, or should we just move on to some other generic stuff?
I probably do. Let me see here.
And for those who are joining us who haven't been here for a while, or who didn't make it to the beginning, we're talking about just like the pitfalls of like putting together these systems, like the sides that really most people don't show.
So I would say another thing is the location that you decide to put your system. So I put mine out in an outbuilding basically, and then I had to run a lot of cables like we were talking about earlier to my house to kind of backfeed it. And then I turn the grid power off and I'll have my house running off grid. And I don't have grid power going directly into my inverters. So I did that because I had an air conditioner in my shed already. And I said, hey, it does be easier for me to put everything out there. But I would recommend not doing that. I would put it as close to your main grid panel as you can so you can run grid power to it. It's good and bad that it's out of your house, I guess. If there's a problem with it, at least it's not really connected to your house. You know, if there was ever a fire or something crazy happened.
Mm-hmm.
But I would still, at this point, probably put it in my garage because I think it's pretty safe. I've been running the stuff long enough that it doesn't scare me anymore, I guess. I'd probably put it in my garage and just put a mini split in there to have heating and cooling. Just try not to put this equipment anywhere that you wouldn't want to stay as well. If you're too hot or you're too cold, your batteries and your inverters, they're not going to like it either. So electronics, they don't like dust and cold and heat.
Yeah. Yeah. The heat is the thing that kills all the stuff. here in Texas for sure. So these guys did a really good job. When I didn't have AC here in my barn, I'm sure I shortened the lifespan of them, though. I mean, that's just a reality. So I'm glad to have AC back in. All right. AC coupling with XP 6000s. 6000 XPs. I'm assuming you're discussing or talking about like bringing the AC into the 6000 XPs. Is that right? You might clarify that here in a second. Rodney, Desmond, you have any input on that comment?
Or maybe he's trying to take it into a 18K. Maybe that's what he's talking about, possibly. We just need a little clarification there.
Yep. All right. So improper panel placement, has that bit anybody at this point?
Oh, yes.
I have had some on the ground before, and I haven't had any problems with it, but I know some people have. So, I would just try to mount the stuff, the best you can for sure. But if you can build a mount or ground mount, definitely have them off the ground if you can, or not leaning against a fence. I've did it all. I've had the stuff leaning against a fence on the ground, but then I've also built mounts. So I definitely recommend putting it up on a mount. That's going to be the safest thing. And like I said earlier, if you missed it, make sure your stuff is grounded like it's supposed to be.
Yep.
Yeah, I've laid mine out on pallets before just to get them out there, just to have some power. It's nice, but you come across random things. Some areas you may have to watch out for animals, or the grass growing through it, or the dirt getting all over it. So,
yeah, or the goats pooping on them.
Yeah.
Anybody else have that issue?
Luckily, no goats.
Yeah, man. So for me, yeah, just improper placement as far as sun exposure, just trying to, and this is like, I need to get some solar production, so just throwing them up anywhere I can get them. They only get a couple hours of sun a day, and so it's not that great. But, if I can get 10 kilowatt hours of solar, I can get 10 kilowatt hours of solar. That's great. But then definitely make sure you have them on some sort of a mount. I had mine laying directly on the ground. I had like some boards that they were laying on to kind of keep them propped up a little bit. But I just recently, guys, and I'll probably do a video on this, I recently had a wire short out. I can't tell exactly what happened. I think what happened was the connector, because these are older panels. I think they're MC3s. I think the MC3, I tucked them underneath the panel, and I think what happened is it got really wet in this last rainstorm, saturated, and then actually shorted out and burned the panel up. So luckily everything is nice and green around here. Otherwise, because I did have like scorched grass around the sides of it, so it could have been really, really bad. So I'm taking back a lot of my statements previously of like, if you need to just throw them on the ground, throw them on the ground. Like, let's make sure that it's done at least partly right, mostly right. We'll put it that way.
Yeah.
So
try to get your PV lines and clip them up to the panel maybe, and just keep them off the ground at a bare minimum, I would guess. But yeah, try to build a mount if you can.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. All right, let's take a couple more questions here. So TJ, he says that the 6000 XPs are not as water or weatherproof as advertised in the early release days. I'm not sure. I don't remember them ever being advertised as weather resistant or weatherproof. I mean, they were always indoor units.
Indoor rated.
Yeah.
I had one right from the beginning, and I don't remember that.
Yeah, I can't remember that.
So I thought they were always rated for indoors only.
Yeah, I can't
remember.
Now
the 18K, that's a different story.
Yep, the 12 and the 18
12K as well.
Those were rated for outdoor use, but maybe he's referring to the heat or the dust. Maybe I can't speak to that. All right. Does panel orientation matter? For me, I'm just like I've played around with like getting it pointed directly at the sun and then just laying it flat and different things like that. Now I can tell you the ones that have like leaning up against a fence that get western sun when the sun's on the other side before noon, of course they get nothing. Like there's no power coming into them. Um, but I don't know. Like I wouldn't put any effort into solar tracking or like anything like that. That's way more. You'll never get your investment back, in my opinion. So
Yeah, the
Yeah,
portrait and landscape,
I,
I don't think that matters at all.
yeah, I don't think that matters at all, and I agree. I would just get more panels. I wouldn't get a tracker. You have more moving parts, more things to break, more maintenance.
mm-hmm.
That's the beauty of solar panels is nothing moves. So you find that sweet spot, that angle, south facing, and get more panels if you like.
Yep. There
There
you
you
go.
Or
go.
build a tilt array.
Yeah, the tilt array. Yeah, now that might make a difference for sure. Bye, TJ. Thanks for
Yeah.
stopping by.
Take it easy.
Yep. These installation is important. I've seen everything from any electronics and electric bikes, etc. Um, condensation is the enemy. Um, yeah, insulation.
I think they're referring to your solar panel that might
Oh,
have shorted out.
yeah. That could be it as well for sure. Sorry, I butchered reading that. Sorry. Um, all right. Um, faulty wiring and connections. We talked a little bit about. I think it was on. Yeah, we talked a little bit earlier about doing like torquing things to spec. That's super important. Inadequate mounting. We just covered that. How about system maintenance? What kind of system maintenance do you guys do, or what is necessary?
Um, check
Not,
in
not
for
enough,
anything
probably.
obvious.
You should
Yeah,
clean the
just
filters on your inverters and stuff like that. Oh, go ahead. I keep interrupting you.
oh, you're fine. Yeah, I was just gonna say, just checking the panels, making sure they're not super dirty, because I know sometimes one corner can get really, really dirty with debris and moisture building up, and next thing you know, they all perform very poorly. And going looking for anything obvious, anything out of the ordinary is one of my go-tos. Is something looks wrong, smells wrong, or
Hmm.
that should be be very alerting. But you just go
Something's
and look at
burning.
the
Any
basics. Yeah,
smoke? Yeah.
and like you
Um,
said, clean the debris of the filters, and because I'm in a dusty area, so that's something that's very important as well.
yeah, for sure. And I would also say, make sure you have fire extinguishers like all over the place.
Yeah.
And I know those. Sorry, my air conditioner just kicked on, so if I've got crazy background noise, I apologize. But I know those like fire extinguisher balls are real popular right now. You see people like putting them on top of their units. When you watch like real reviews on those things, they don't do anything. So like, don't expect. I mean, it's not they don't do anything. It's they're definitely not like a silver bullet. So I'd say make sure you have some like legit fire extinguishers on hand, and make sure they're not they're rated for electrical fires.
Yeah, I have some everywhere. I have solar. I have them at the door, basically. So when I
Mm-hmm.
come in, they're at least right there at the door, and hopefully, if something is going on, I can get to that and be
Yeah.
able to put it out before it causes too much damage.
Yeah, and I use the Hardy backer as well.
Mm-hmm.
Looking
Yep.
around,
Yep.
which you can see that
Yep.
behind you, Rod.
Yep. That's right. That's right. That's. See if I can even remember how to do this. Just me. Oh, there it is. Yeah, the whole wall. It's hardy backer all the way across, 16 feet of it. I should probably put it on this where the panels are as well, and I should probably put it above them as just to make sure everything looks
Yep,
good.
heat rises.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Um, all right. A little bit off topic. Best way to store food. Your thoughts? the best way,
in a
hands
cool
down.
area,
The,
In my
in a bucket.
So I would say like
uh,
the undisputed champion of food storage is going to be freeze dried. It's also the most expensive.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and uh, I like to freeze a lot of food. I like to dehydrate and can, um, vacuum seal. We've got it all. So you do what you can, what your budget allows. Um,
Yeah.
Freezing is probably the most. I'd say freeze drying is the most expensive. Freezing is probably the most expensive because you got to keep those freezers running forever. I don't know. It just depends. Um, yeah. All
It all
right.
depends on what you're trying to store it for, if it's long term or short term. But long term, I like stuff in buckets if it's rice or whatever the case may be. I know we're kind of getting into the prepping thing now, I guess, but
Yeah. Yeah.
everybody should be prepared for at least a minor disaster, whether that be you lost a job or there's a hurricane. We have hurricanes. I'm in North Carolina. There's always hurricanes, so you better be ready for those and just be ready for a week without power. That's one of the main reasons I have solar is I just want my family to be taken care of during, emergencies. And so
Right.
my big reason was not to definitely save money like some people, even
Yeah.
though that's good and fine, but mine is for emergency preparedness.
Yeah. Absolutely. 2 steps from off grid. Thanks for stopping by, man. Let's see. For those using an EG4 solar mini split, what percentage of the total power consumption would you guess is being powered by those solar panels? So I can show you when I have sun on. Where is the camera? This is like backwards and upside down for me. There we go. So when I have sun on the panels, it does really well, and I don't have enough panels to really make it do what I need. I only have 1,000 watts of panels there, so but when the sun's on them, and they're in a bad location, but when the sun's on them, it does a fantastic job. I don't know if that answers the question. Anyone have any input?
I can just guess when I put one on at my buddy's house. I think it's about 60% because at night, of course, it's going to be running off the grid, but it's usually not as hot. And most of the time here in North Carolina, when it's running hard, it's going to be during the summer because it's so hot. So I
Yeah.
would say about 60% probably. And we have quite a few panels on his, so
Mm-hmm.
it seems to work pretty good.
Also, we talked about this off the air, but I think Rodney and I both agree. If you can put panels on your inverters, go there before you put them on your EG4 units. And would you agree with that? I saw you nod and then
Yes.
you froze. Okay, yes.
I like
Yeah.
having it on both just in case something else happens.
Mhm. Yeah, for sure. But there will be times where you don't need your AC running and you're producing solar, and you end up just that energy just disappears, right? And it could be going into your batteries.
Wasted.
So
Yeah.
if you have room
Yes.
on your MPPTs and it space allows and all that, I think best practices is to go ahead and put it in there. Honestly, I think the sweet spot for these EG4 solar, I guess, hybrid units is for people who are on grid and don't have like a 6,000 XP array behind them or anything like that. Like if you're just like you've got a regular house and you're on grid and you don't have the room to put in all these, you don't want to buy the batteries, you don't do all this stuff, but you want to take your electric bill and cut it way back and like take your AC bill and turn it into like nothing, man, just grab one of these units, put some solar panels up. It doesn't take that many if you buy the good ones, and man, that's your instant cost savings. Instant.
I think my buddy, he doesn't have solar, of course, like an inverter or any of that stuff. We put the mini split on there. I think we might have had 6 or something like that of the 455-watt panels. And I think literally it is knocked his electric bill down. Like it might be 60 or more percent. And his bill is so cheap now. We got that whole unit running his whole house. And it's definitely not made for that. He has a small house, but it's running the whole thing, heating and cooling. And he has been loving it because it's saving him so much money on electric. Because this old unit, it just used so much power, the whole house system. and that thing's been great for him. One day I want to put solar on his house. That's what I'm trying to do. But right now, like you said, for somebody that's on grid, it works great with those few panels.
Yeah, good deal. All right, Eric, the Dream Giver. Hi. Got that
What's
extra
going
K
on?
on the end there. I won't hold it against you. Farm Life favorite panel and manufacturer. Cummins, man. I don't know, 7.3 guy here. I'm sorry, but it's all right. You can still be on the stream. All right. Favorite panels and manufacturer. Anybody? I'll tell you real quick for me. Um, I've always bought used from Santan Solar. I think it's a decent route to go because you can get so many panels for such a tiny amount of money. But then you have to build the mounts for all of those panels, and that's where I'm just in this overload of I have to build a mount for 80 panels. Like
Yeah,
it's
buy the biggest panels
overwhelming.
you can if you're able to, because
Yeah.
you can have 10 panels that's just the same as 20, and you don't have to buy all the mounting hardware. So there's definitely pros and cons, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Half the installation for sure. And
Mm-hmm.
for me, it's hard to decide with the favorite panel because things in this market, a lot of them are made. The cells are made by the same manufacturers and stuff, so it's really what's cheapest and what's in demand and who's got what. So
Yeah,
I
definitely,
like
because
to
a
buy
lot of the stuff right now is a lot cheaper than it was when I bought a lot of my panels. I have all different brands. I got Solar Ever, Sirius, Hyundai, I don't Aptos. I got all kinds of panels. So just depends on what time you got in the market and how much they are. Now those panels are way cheaper than when I bought. I bought some that were maybe $255 a panel for the Solar Ever, and now you can probably get them for $170 or something. So it just depends on the price you can get them for. There's a lot of good panels out there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's always nice to try to get the same matching panel as well. So just keep your stuff the same. Something to think about when you're making your purchase.
Yeah. All right. So max out the MPPTs, then add panels to the mini split. That's my perspective, um, because the energy is going to go there anyway. You might have that little bit of loss in inverting and converting and inverting, but I think you're going to lose more by not putting excess energy into your batteries when your house is already at temp. So that's what I would say. I own a solar company. I install on all kinds of stuff. Just installed solar panels on an RV today. Awesome. There we go. Giving the dreams.
Yeah, that's a project I want to do, is on somebody's RV or camper. That's what I want to do.
Yeah. Love it.
Try it out.
Thanks for stopping by. Maybe we'll have to have them on next stream. No. Let's see. What else you guys have? What about financial pitfalls? You bought stuff that you ended up not using. You bought stuff that was trash. Yeah. Throwing
Yeah.
away money.
I mean, I've bought a lot of stuff because I was working on other people's stuff, like my parents' house, and thinking that we're gonna do something one way. So I'm like, oh, I'm gonna buy this because I'm gonna use it, and then I never use it. So I have a whole lot of extra stuff for roof installs and stuff that I've never used, mounts and all kinds of stuff, because we ended up building that patio, that solar patio and stuff like that. And I thought I was gonna put stuff on the roof. So
Yep.
before you buy anything, just make sure that you have a plan for exactly what you want to do, and nobody's going to change their mind, especially if you're working with somebody else, because they might change their mind. So
there you go. Desmond, any financial pitfalls?
Yeah, buying those cheap little MPPTs that aren't really MPPTs, PWMs, just going cheap and trying to experiment. Anything I did that with, but I don't use it today, but no, because it was part of my learning process. But
Yeah.
You guys don't need to learn that. You just need to get some good equipment.
Yeah. If my background audio just got terrible, we just got onto free energy and my batteries are charging up at full speed. So,
Yeah, that's the video we need.
yeah, it's coming. It's coming, y'all. I've been working on. I want it to be epic. So, um, putting a lot of effort into it. It's going to be a pretty. For those of y'all who haven't heard, I'm going to do a video on how you can do all this stuff that we're doing, and you don't need a single solar panel. As long as you live in the right spot and you have, you're able to choose your solar company or your electric company. You have to be on grid. Um, it's pretty cool, man. I mean, we go most of the day, every day, with just a couple of solar panels. Like, I think we pulled in like 4 kilowatt hours today. Rodney's like, I do that with half a panel. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. So that video is coming. Stay tuned, subscribe, all that good stuff. While we're right here, this is a good time to go ahead and like shout out you guys again on your channels. Rodney, check out Rodney Hunt on YouTube. And Desmond, you have just started YouTube, but you've really been active over on Insta and Facebook, right?
Yeah, that's correct. I'm more on Instagram. I'm Fertile Foods Official, and just doing more homesteading, regenerative homesteading. Got a solar-powered golf cart, or utility cart for the farm. It's got a dump on there. Use that for moving mulch and all kinds of materials.
And that's cool.
Expanding the food forest. Yeah, it's a whole lot of fun. Up in our family ranch of 23 acres out in Dripping Springs. It's a whole lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely got to start making those YouTube videos.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Absolutely, man. There's so much room to go around, and like, right here we go. Eric the Dream Giver, right? Yeah, I'm trying to get to 10,000 subscribers. I just got to 9. Woo, man. That's awesome. Hey, congrats.
You got to start somewhere, that's for sure.
Right?
We all know what it's like.
Yeah, absolutely. And do it. Well, I'll have to jump over and subscribe when I'm done with the stream. And and there's a lot of us out here doing this, but man, we're all here to help each other out. So it's not about competition. That's cooperation. Let's do it together. Let's help each other. Let's make it happen. Cheap. Yeah. Just reading through some comments. Yeah. So there's financial pitfalls. I'm looking through my list here again. System maintenance, financial. All right. Safety considerations. Any thoughts?
Yeah, as Rodney mentioned before, properly grounding things. I've touched systems that were islanding. I've been barefoot trying to push buttons on the inverter. Next thing you know, I'm 4 feet in the air. So,
oh man, not recommended.
Yeah, grounding, and then getting the PV disconnect. Things like that are very important. Nice.
Yeah. I would say one of the biggest things that I've seen, and even watching people on YouTube, they're messing with stuff and they don't have gloves on when they're doing electrical. I know a lot of times you're going to check it and make sure there's no power, but I still have gloves on because you just never know. I'd rather have some kind of insulation between me and that board or that panel or whatever it is. So I would say wear gloves, wear your goggles, your safety glasses. Because if you get something in your eye, I mean, there's no coming back for that if you destroy your eye. So gloves, your PPE, just wear it.
Yep.
Yeah, that's great advice. I definitely put on glasses because when you go and connect things, if you do it properly, that you can spark.
Yeah, I just thought of an example that I didn't really want to tell anybody, but I went to check the voltage on a battery and I had my meter on AC. It didn't work out.
No,
It didn't work out. I almost melted the leads on that thing. It sparked. It scared me to death. I
I
was
have
like,
welded the
man,
leads
what
on.
just
So.
happened? I looked at my leads. They were all like half melted. Hey, but I had gloves on. I had safety glasses on. So, I was fine, but it scared me. And I'm like, look, I'm never messing with this stuff without gloves because you never
Yeah,
know. I
yeah,
accidentally had it on AC, but I had the PPE
yeah,
on, so I was fine.
yeah, yeah. Absolutely, it's for real. So a lot of times you'll get the YouTube comment section that's like, "You didn't wear glasses. You're not wearing," whatever. And it's like, yeah, like, and it's pretty annoying, but they've got great points, right? It kind of hurts to hear because you're like, man, I would have put them on. I'm just like, when I'm doing the 500 other things it takes to film this project, I forgot to put
Yeah.
my glasses back on. They're sitting right there on the desk. Can't you see them? So there's that. Um, but yeah, as far as the safety concerns, electrical stuff, like, make sure you check and double check, and then just make sure you know what you're doing. Like, think through it. And then, of course, just because you see somebody do something on YouTube doesn't mean that it's safe. Let's see. Oh, I'm gonna plug. Let's see. Try not to break things over here. I'm gonna plug the Victron. Can't even see it. Wiring Unlimited again. The download for this, I don't own any Victron equipment, but this this manual is incredible for people just getting started. So check that out. There's a free PDF online in multiple languages. Download it. Just Victron Energy Wiring Unlimited PDF download. You'll be able to find it.
I
It's
put a
just,
link in the chat.
thank you. Rodney's on top of it. Yeah, it's a good one. So, yep. Prep today. I do need to get myself a set. Yeah, so I actually don't have a good set of electrical gloves myself. Whenever my panel was shorting out and just popping and stuff, like, I unplugged it, I disconnected everything, but I was still kind of scared of it because it still had sun on it. So I got my big old welding gloves, and I was like, I think these will be insulated enough. And I stood on I actually took like a one of those black Rubbermaid totes, and I like threw that out next to it, and I stood in that, and then I'm like, I'm gonna insulate myself every way I can. Like, I don't know, it's probably overkill, and
Oh
stupid.
man,
But,
that is
yeah,
funny. Now I wish you would have had a camera out for that. Now
I
that'd have been
should
awesome.
have, but I was like, I gotta get this thing
Not
stopped.
enough time.
Nope, nope. See,
Oh man.
yeah, get a good multimeter. Yes, 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 yes. AC DC clamp multimeter is a must. Like, you just, like, I've got 4 multimeters, because I didn't know what I was buying and I didn't know what I needed, and so I ended up buying a really expensive just AC clamp multimeter and didn't realize that it didn't clamp for DC. Like, it's a difference. Like, you
I
gotta.
I did the same thing.
So make sure you buy the DC and AC clamp multimeter, um, and buy Bitcoin, retire early. Um, I can't say don't do that. Um, I don't know about retiring early, but class double aught gloves. There we go. TJ, didn't you leave earlier? You back? I guess you had to go. Yeah, and you're back. Welcome back.
I like the Klein tools, but I'm not too familiar. Y'all could probably speak with the clamps. I haven't used the clamps.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, I like
I
my.
use a Klein most of the time. It does AC and DC, the one I have, so I like it.
Yeah, I can't. Oh, here it is.
Yeah, and with mine, I think
Yeah.
I don't have that. That's nice. I just
Yep.
have a multimeter. I used to have little voltmeters, and
Yeah. So this is the CL 390. I think anything less than the 390 does not do the DC clamp, but they've got so many of them, and it's kind of wish they would. I know why they do it from a marketing perspective, but it's frustrating. Just check to make sure you don't have to buy multiple times, multi-tools.
I do have another safety thing. I mean,
Yep.
another on topic thing, I guess, that we didn't really go over, but I would say get help when you need it. Y'all probably watch some of my videos, at least some of y'all, and know that I do almost everything by myself. I guess because I'm stubborn or whatever. But I have broke panels, because you're trying to hold something over here and it falls over and you break the thing. And in the 12K, I was picking that thing up out of the box and sat it straight up. And then I tried to move the box with my other hand and it tipped over and fell. So,
Oh no.
you're going to damage something that costs this much money because I'm, too stubborn to get help. Then I went and got my son to help me after the fact. I'm like, I should have got him to begin with. You don't want to damage this stuff. It's very expensive. So
Yeah.
if you're able to, I would say get help when you're trying to move something or install something that you shouldn't be doing by yourself.
Yeah. I've always hung all my Fluke. There we go, TJ Fluke, for sure. If you want to pay for it. Yeah, I've always hung all of them myself, and every time it's like, this was stupid. I should have had someone else. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, I got my son to help me hang up the 12K and the 18K when I did them. Because I'm like, I'm just going to kill myself trying to do this.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, Fluke if you're rich, Klein if you're not. Yeah. And even like Cobalt. I've got a Cobalt one I really like. I've got, I mean, and honestly, well, no, I was gonna say you could get by with the Harbor Freight one you get for free if you get the coupons, but I wouldn't trust it.
I wouldn't trust it either.
No, I mean when you're gonna spend money that you need to get the full system, do it. But to play with, learn, it's not, something. Do some reviews on that stuff. Eric, you talking about the multimeters? Always have help when doing a lot of the, yep, for sure. Man, it's getting so loud in here for me. Hopefully y'all are able to hear me over all the background noise. I got the gain turned as far down on this mic and sitting as close as I can to it.
It sounds fine to me.
All right. How about if I turn up the gain, let you listen to it all?
Oh, man. Yeah.
Shouldn't have done that. Sorry, guys. That was mean. I didn't think about it. All right. Let's see what else do we have on our list. Man, we've been cruising for an hour and 15 minutes. The time goes by so fast.
Yes. I think everything I had on my list, I've kind of went over. I'm sure there's a lot more that I didn't think about, but
oh yeah, for sure.
Just be safe whatever you're doing and do your research. That's one of the most important things. Do your research ahead of time and plan out your stuff and get help. Wear your PPE, like all the things we've been talking about.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right, we got another question coming in. Farm life. I'm getting ready to have a well drilled in my pasture for cattle. We'll likely use a 1 to 2 horse pump. Any thoughts on what components would work for a DIY solar plan? I mean, I would say go straight to a 6000K or 6000 XP. That will handle it for sure. But there's probably something a little bit smaller that would do fine as well. That's just what I've been used to using to do my 5 horse pump, and it's awesome. So it'll easily do the 1 to 2 horse. Outside of that, I mean, I'm sure. What do you think about the smaller, like the grow watt systems? Would those be worth going into? I don't have any experience with those.
Yeah, my grow watts they were pretty awesome. So I definitely know they would definitely run that 1 to 2 horsepower pump. And I mean, I was running my whole house with them, starting air conditioners, everything else. Mm-hmm. And I was doing it with one. I could run an air conditioner. I just couldn't run the whole house at the same time, but it would start ACs and stuff like that. So
I guess one question would be: is it a 110 or 240 or 120, 240 pump? Throw that, because that with load imbalances, that might be an issue. Let's see.
I don't
All
know if we
right.
put him to sleep or something. That
Yeah,
prep
I'm
today,
saying
you see
prep today.
that?
You're awake now. All right. Sorry. No, I don't know.
Oh man.
All right. Um, Final thoughts, guys. We'll go ahead and wrap it up. Anybody have anything they want to say?
No,
I
I
would say
think
get
we.
started. Get started somewhere, whether it be something the smallest thing you can think of. You got one panel and one thing to run a light or a fan. Have some kind of emergency backup because no matter where you live out in the country, there's some kind of emergencies. There's hurricanes, tornadoes, you know, power outages. I mean, with all the stuff that's happening in the world today, if you're not trying to get somewhat prepared just for daily life, or what happened the other day with that whole airports getting shut down and the banking systems and all that. Same thing could happen with grid power. So I would say just get as prepared as you can and start small if you have to.
Yeah, absolutely. You can start off with a room or a shed. You don't need to power your whole house and everything at once. Um, yeah, safety first, and get after it. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. It's really rewarding when you get that first light flipped on and
Yeah,
the
it is.
AC out here in the heat of Texas. Man, I can tell you, not having it a couple years ago and having it now, it is absolutely amazing.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, absolutely.
really appreciate you having me here and
Yeah,
talking
I
about all
definitely
absolutely.
this.
enjoyed having you, and I love learning different things that other people are doing. And what you're doing is definitely interesting. I want you to make some YouTube videos.
That's right.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we see that
I'll
food
need to get
forest
on
and
that.
all them trees. Yeah, it'd be good, man. Yeah, so just to close on my end, I'd say, my channel, it's all about just trying to encourage people to live faithfully and prepare thoroughly for good times or bad. And solar fits right into that plan, right? I mean, it's like if everything goes well from here on out, your electric bill is lower, you know, it, what else? I mean, like your electric bill is lower. uh, but if things fall apart, I mean, man, this year we've had so many uh, blackouts. Like I think three, four, at least four times already. We've had like countywide 100,000, 200,000 people out of power for multiple days in a row. Just the storms and crazy stuff. So um, when that happens, we just sail right through it. It's like, all right. I mean, I had to start up the generator a couple hours because my panels aren't as great as they need to be, but starting somewhere and just getting it going. And I'm excited about that, and I love to help other people do it. So I know all three of us here are passionate about really just helping people get started. So I've got a ton of videos on this stuff. Got a lot more coming. Like I'm really ramping things up from this point on. Rodney's doing the exact same thing, ramping things
Yep.
up on his end. Desmond's going to be starting his YouTube channel and getting it going. We know it. Excited about that. And then also go check out and follow Eric the Dream Giver, present explosion party thing, GIF. Man, show them some love. All these other guys in here, everybody. There's a lot of creators in this room, so go check them out. Or on the chat here. TJ coming in from Northern California. Yeah. Um, Austin Maddox from Tyler, Texas. I'm in Tyler, Texas. So
Got a lot of Texas people here.
yeah, yeah, awesome. All right, a one horse. Let's see, a couple more real quick, then we'll wrap it up. Oh, actually, let me jump over here first. Farm life is your 6K inside of an enclosure. I know they're not waterproof or weatherproof, rather. My 6K is right here. So I've got three of them, but when I say one will run it, I've got a video. Just do like I don't remember what it is. If you look at my channel, it's like something about a well pump and 6,000 XP.
Yeah, I think Farm Life was saying that he's gonna be putting it out in a field
Mhm.
and probably needs an enclosure.
Yeah,
I
you do
mean,
need.
You can probably buy something at Lowe's or something like that, like a little small plastic enclosure or bin to run it from, and just maybe try to put you a couple fans in it. I'm sure somebody's got to have a video on something like that, but I don't. But
I mean, I think about
you
my well
definitely need to keep
house.
it out of the weather.
Yeah, I would definitely try to keep it out of the weather. Um, I'm not sure, about the other options in that size that are weather resistant. So, prep today, Arkansas, awesome. Um, farm life, man, he's over there in Rodney's neck of the woods. Awesome.
Oh yeah, North Carolina.
All right. Yep. Awesome. Saving. Okay. Let's see. A couple more comments here. Get the smallest pump that can run, Get above ground tank, and get a second pump to pressurize. Yeah. I mean that really is a good way to go, right? We've got a 5-horse pump. We are on a multi-family property out here, so we pull a lot of water out of the ground, and this pump does it all day long, or these inverters. Yeah, but putting it into a tank is also a great option. Okay. Check everybody out on YouTube. Go subscribe to Rodney, Desmond. Desmond, did you actually both of you guys put your YouTube channels in the description or in the comments? I'll make sure they're in the description there. But drop a link there so people can follow you guys. And I really appreciate everybody who stopped by. This has been fun. And for anybody who's thinking or wondering, we're going to try to do these on a more regular basis. We're going to try to get onto a schedule. Rodney and I are going to be talking and figure out when we can make sure that you guys can count on us to be here. And we're going to do it. We'll bring on a lot of other guests and have fun. All right. Guys, thanks for being on, and we'll see you next time. All right.
Absolutely. Take care.